Becky, we have new safety ratings out for the 2024 Chevrolet Trax. Now, this vehicle had mixed results in our safety tests. This is the side crash test vehicle here. Can you talk us through this result?
Sure. In the updated side test, the Trax gets an overall rating of acceptable. And this comes from a combination of the vehicle structure as well as dummy numbers. So the driver dummy, we saw elevated risk of both the chest and the pelvis. And the rear dummy, we saw an elevated risk of injury for the chest as well.
All right, so remind us, this test was recently updated, right? What were the changes we made to our side crash test?
We increased the severity to replicate the real world scenarios in which people are still getting injured in side crashes. And this means a higher test speed and a heavier crash partner.
So this is a pretty challenging test.
It is a challenging test, and we aren't seeing every vehicle get a good rating the first time we test them in this mode. But we are hoping that they will take these learnings back, and the next time they're redesigning the vehicle, they'll get a good rating.
All right, so the Trax did perform well in 2 frontal tests, the driver's side and passenger side small overlap crash test, but it came up short in another one of our newer tests, right?
Yes, our updated moderate overlap frontal test, the Chevy Trax gets a 4 overall rating. So if you look at the vehicle itself, the structure is actually really good. We also noticed that the driver dummy saw a very low risk of injury. The problem was really with the rear-seated occupant, where we saw elevated risk of injury to both the head and the chest of the dummy.
And the Trax also came up short in 2 other key safety tests on the crash avoidance side of things. Let's start with headlights. How did it perform?
The Trax gets a marginal rating for headlights because the lights just don't project far enough down the roadway. It got a marginal in our pedestrian AEB test as well. It did well during the daytime scenarios, but struggled more at night, especially when the low beams were activated. It really couldn't see the pedestrian and avoid or slow down for the crash.
And so we've also got ratings out for the Buick Envista, which is built on the same platform as the Trax. So let's talk about those safety ratings as well. Most of the crash test ratings for the Trax carry over to the Buick Envista, but we did evaluate the Envista independently in our updated moderate overlap crash test. Why was that?
So even though these vehicles share a structural platform, there may be subtle differences with either the back seat area or the restraint systems themselves that we want to evaluate independently vehicle model to vehicle model.
All right, so the Trax got a poor rating. How did the Envista do in that updated moderate overlap test?
Even though we tested this vehicle separately, it gets the same poor rating in our updated moderate overlap test. And it comes from the same kind of elevated injury risk that we're seeing to the head and the chest of that rear occupant dummy.
All right, so let's talk about our crash avoidance testing for the Envista. How did it do in our headlight tests?
Similar to the Chevy Trax, we're seeing a marginal headlight rating for the Envista because we're just not illuminating the road. And in our pedestrian front crash prevention testing, the Envista scores a little better than the Trax, getting an acceptable overall. But it still isn't able to perform as well in the nighttime scenarios to get that highest rating.
So Becky, what is your message for a consumer that is looking at small SUVs and might be considering one of these 2 vehicles?
So neither of these vehicles end up getting our Top Safety Pick award, but there are small SUVs that do receive either our Top Safety Pick or Top Safety Pick Plus award. So if safety is important to your vehicle purchase, there are options.
All right, so and you can check more info at iihs.org where you can compare safety ratings for small SUVs. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow if you enjoyed this video so you never miss new safety ratings. Becky, thank you so much for your time as always.
Thank you.